All right, looking at a cash out refinance to wipe away debt. Now, unless you're living under a rock, home values are through the roof. Okay, so homeowners have some equity to play with. When you own a home, you naturally build equity by paying down on that debt every single month. But with the increase in home values, you're gaining equity that much faster. And with that equity, you can take advantage of a cash out refinance. There's definitely concern, there's definitely worries. People don't know if it makes sense. There's a misnomer that when you refinance, you're starting back at year one on your mortgage. So I'll try to clear that up. But regardless, banks don't really care what you use that money for. You could buy another house, you could buy an investment property, you could take your homeboy on a nice vacation, you could put a pool in your backyard, in your front yard. It really doesn't matter. A big thing though is getting rid of some of that nasty debt. Debt is not fun, causes a lot of stress, it keeps you up at night. And with rates so low, you can really help yourself out. So let me set up this scenario here. Joe Schmo, I'll use him for the example. He took a loan from the bank back in 2012 for $250,000. Over the past 9 years, he has paid down that debt to $207,000. And at the same time, his property increased to 325K. Okay. Now, Joe Schmo, he also has some debt. Okay. He's comfortable. He's not living paycheck to paycheck, but he wants to see what options are available. He's curious if he could relieve some financial stress, and he's just sick and tired of paying on high interest debt. So for this example, right, we got Joe Schmo. He's paying on a Ford pickup. He fell behind on some credit cards, and he took out like a personal loan. Maybe he sent his kids to college or whatnot. Now so he has about $45,000 worth of debt, and it's like $1,050 that he's paying in addition to his mortgage every single month. Now, there's really three ways that you can maximize this and put yourself in the best situation. And regardless of what Joe decides to do, when he uses the equity in his home to consolidate the debt, he's no longer paying on that debt. So he's increasing his monthly cash flow. Okay. And in this scenario, it's about $1,100. And in terms of an hourly wage, that's a $7 raise over the course of a month. So we can look at this nifty infographic and see if Joe did nothing. If he just stayed in his current scenario in 2 years, okay, still going to be paying on the car, the pickup, still going to be paying on the credit card, and he's still going to be paying on the installment loan. Now, fast forward to 10 years down the road, if Joe did nothing, okay, congratulations, he got the truck paid off, he got the installment loan paid off, but he's still paying on the credit card, which is insane. Now, again, Joe wasn't living paycheck to paycheck, right? So he decides to take that monthly savings he'd see by consolidating that debt, and he's just going to stick it into a savings account every single month. I'm going to switch tabs here, right? Pay off debt, mattress money. Now, mattress money, just stick it into a savings account. Okay, so he takes this $1,100, okay, and he puts it into a savings account that's making him 0.5% interest. In 10 years, that same account is going to have $140,000 in it. Now that's a huge chunk of change. So that's one route Joe could take. Okay. Now Joe's a little bit concerned because he's already 10 years into his current mortgage. Let me move me over here. Joe's 10 years into his current mortgage. So if he stays where he is, he's going to pay that home off in 20 years. Okay. Now, Joe, instead of taking that savings and putting it into a savings account, he's going to apply that to the principal balance on his mortgage. Okay. He takes that $1,100 and he just gives it to the bank, right, to bring down the principal balance on his loan. And with that, Joe actually ends up paying his home off in half the time, okay, in about 11 years. Now, let's see, pay off debt and pay down mortgage. Maybe Joe doesn't want to use that entire $1,100 and put it towards the principal. Maybe he wants to only do half of it and use the other half for whatever. He's still paying off the home in less time than where he's at right now, and he doesn't have any debt to worry about, right? So it makes sense. Now, Joe Now, the last thing, right? Joe takes that savings and he has it work for him, right? Joe likes to invest, so he takes those savings and puts it to work. He opens up some account and contributes that monthly savings into the account, and he is making 4% on his money. And every single month, taking those savings and putting it into that account, Joe ends up with that account being $175,000 in 10 years. Now, if Joe's really, really good at investing, maybe he's making 10% on his money, right? Now he just upped that to almost $250,000. Okay. Now look, everybody's scenario is different, but either way, you're helping yourself out, regardless of what you do. Okay, you're increasing your monthly cash flow. You're wiping away debts. You're putting more money back in your pocket, and you're relieving financial stress.